this to a court of record if he feels that the variance is been unfairly
Well,
denied.
he sent a detailed letter here, and the last sentence says, if needed, I can go smaller to a 10 by 12. So
So
he
should
needs
we
to go smaller.
Yeah, so should we send him a letter or postcard or something telling him the variance been denied?
That's what I was suggesting.
Is that usually what happens? Of the, right.
Will you be able to include the additional detail regarding the 10 by 12 fitting within the guidelines?
It will specify that he's already submitted.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
The letter will notify him that the variance was not approved and that he will need to abide by the code, whatever he wants to put there.
Okay.
So we're not
Basically.
going to make a suggestion. We don't want to make a suggestion.
Right, no.
He needs to come back with,
Yes, sir.
okay, got you.
And that will be a part of his general work permit
Okay.
for a storage building.
Thanks, CD.
And also for the record, he has 10 days to appeal from the date the decision is filed. So there does need to be some kind of written order of some type saying it was denied, whether that be a copy of the minutes or something else. Once that's filed, he has a 10-day period in which to appeal to a court of record.
So that's what I thought there was a written response that they were supposed to get.
Well, it's not, it doesn't say that it's supposed to go to him. It's 10 days from it's filed within our office.
So.
It says filed in the board's office.
Okay.
You know, the board doesn't have its own office, so I would just say that's the city office. 10 days from that period, he can file to a court of record. So that's, starting at county court level.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
We are adjourned
now we go back to the
at
meeting.
6:18.
Good job, David. David, good job.
Thank you, Skip.
Okay. I'd like to reconvene our city council meeting. It's 6:18. And we're on item number 9 on our agenda, consider for discussion action, planning and zoning commission recommendations. There are none at this point, so we'll move on to number 10, which consider for update discussion action, GLO supplemental grant and property acquisition. This is our supplemental, which is a $7.9 million grant. We have resolution 2022-8R designating authorized signatories for the contractual and financial documents. And this is something standard that we have to do with all of the grants. We have to have somebody authorized to sign. So the resolution designates either myself or Tommy as mayor pro tem to sign
Thank you, sir.
the documents necessary. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion that you or Tommy be authorized to sign the documents for
Yeah.
that.
It's adopting resolution 2022-008.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next, authorization for mayor to sign grant administration contract with Langford Community Management Service for administrative and environmental service for the GLO MIT supplemental program. We have to have a contract for each of our grants, and so we have to sign a contract with the grant administrator, and that's what that next one is. And so we didn't print out the whole thing because it's 69 pages long. And so, but again, it's the typical contract that we entered into with the other grant. Do I hear a motion to authorize me to sign this grant administration contract?
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, the next one is for me to sign, to grant authorization for me to sign the contract with our engineers. Of course, the grant administrator and the engineer have been approved. We just have to sign the contract. So again, do I hear a motion to do that?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Moving right along. Number 11, consider for discussion action, IT assessment and future work. Have we had any further assessment from the IT person? Mr. IT it is, right?
Yeah, let me find that document here, sorry.
We're moving right along so quickly that we caught him.
That's very unusual for CD.
Well, yeah, between jumping right out of variance hearing and trying to keep up with all that.
I know.
Um,
Okay, council members, and Mayor, the, Mr. IT sent a response email after I asked him about the secure email situation, and there's apparently some problem with the State Department of Information Resources because they carry the domain. We are just a sub-user of that .gov, which would be the secure emails. And I need to get with, I believe, probably you, Councilman Blackstone, to see if we can't contact someone at the Department of Information Resources and work on getting that to happen. Also, Michael Ramsey, that's Mr. IT, has got the equipment for the firewall. It's just a matter of him getting over here to get it installed for us. And that's where things stand right now. As soon as we get the secure emails, it won't be much of a problem for him to work with the webmaster, Lisa Richardson, in order to get that implemented. And then we'll have to get the word out that these are the emails for different departments, for different council members, and
Okay.
CD, did I see a quote come through from him for the full assessment of our information technology systems?
I have not seen that.
Okay.
All that we got was the bill for the firewall and for him getting things set up on the secure emails.
Very good.
Didn't we ask for that? We-
Yes. And I had submitted that to him and also asked him to contact Councilman Harrington in regards to filling in any blanks that he might have questions about.
Thank you.
Okay, next is consider for discussion action financial report.
We're gonna have a burn ban.
Good job, Brad.
We're gonna have a burn ban.
Thank you.
It's on the agenda.
That was the last one.
Oh, May 21st. I don't have the 28th.
Well, it was sent out.
First off, I'd like to say thank you to Davey Peterson for once again stepping up to the plate to help out. And the latest information on our office, everything, everybody, person, Jackie, is that she made it home this afternoon after her surgery yesterday. And I pretty bluntly told her husband that it is his definite responsibility, and he will answer to me if she does not obey the doctor's orders so that she gets back to work as quickly and in as good a shape as she left us. So, okay, our treasurer's report. And this just followed from last week. There's not been a whole lot of change, but every 2 years, either Tommy or myself, and sometimes the mayor has to get involved in this, but the Public Information, Public Funds Investment Act requires training and that's an 8-hour deal. As you noted, I completed 7 hours. I tuned in late because I had somebody in the office, and so it was an online training, and I missed it by 3 minutes for getting my total 8 hours.
Oh,
And they're
geez.
sticklers about that. But they're going to have another one coming up in the fall, so I'll catch some additional hours there. But I did complete the 7 hours of Public Funds Investment Act training provided at no cost to the city because we are involved with Texas Class. Now, in the past, we've gone to TML's Texas Municipal League's training, and that's usually cost us about $149 or so. I don't know what it is now. Every 2 years, Treasurer and Public Funds Investment Officer, that's Councilman Morris, are required to obtain the 8 hours of training. Councilman Morris got his 8 hours last year. 3 of the sessions that occurred that I was involved with this year were especially useful for city operations, that being business continuity planning, cybersecurity best practices, and the General Accounting Standards Board's update, which that one always makes my head hurt. And that's what Diane and Pam deal with every day to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. If you're wondering why the cost of our annual audit rises from year to year, 1, we've added accounts over the years. 2, we've had grants, 1 or more per audit, that have had to be accounted for in the financial statements. Most of those grants cross fiscal years. 3rd, fulfilling the requirements of GASB is increasingly more complex, cumbersome, and time-consuming, which equates to more expense. This year, an additional $2,500 was spent to getting the required reports compiled from QuickBooks Online so that the auditors could actually do their information, as I referred previously to. QuickBooks Desktop kept each of those accounts separately. QuickBooks Online, when it groups all of them together for getting the report, and so they had to go back and do a bunch of forensic work. That was that $2,500 that was required to get those reports compiled. Now, the audit is costing us $10,500, and I'm amazed that Davis Heinemann and Company was able to complete the work for that amount that was submitted in their engagement letter dated January the 14th, considering the work that they had to do getting ready and then the time spent here in the city office with me getting things put together so that it's in the document that the auditors presented to the council earlier in the meeting. Mayor Bennett and I met with State Comptroller Glenn Hager and his staff some staff from the Texas Broadband Development Office during a stop in Beaumont at the end of March. The BDO, that's the Broadband Development Office, is a steward of millions of state and federal dollars intended to close the digital divide by increasing access to reliable, affordable, high-speed internet in Texas. By early October 2022, the BDO expects to have the process ready for accepting grant applications and making initial financial awards. The city plans to coordinate with the BDO, DebtCog, and Tyler County to make sure we get grant funds for last-mile connectivity. That's going to be just a major headache because there's going to be money there and everybody's going to be scrambling for it, and we want to make sure we're in the right pot to get our share. When you look at it, the funds are flowing from several different sources, and we don't want to get started down a path and then realize that, well, we could have gotten that taken care of under this grant. So that's something we're going to have to stay on top of. On a side note, during the public comments portion of the meeting, Mr. Lonnie Hunt, the Executive Director of the DP's Texas Council of Governments, made the comment that all cities and counties, if they had someone like Mayor Bennett working on their behalf and getting grants and helping, they would be a lot better off in better service to their citizens. That says a lot in front of the state comptroller. The payment from the state comptroller was direct deposited on the 8th of this month. That was $6,070.48 compared to last year's same month of $5,389.87. And last month's income was $6,024.74. It brings our sales tax income for the year to $47,456. Now, I'd hoped that we'd hit the $50,000 mark at the 6-month mark in the city's budget, but didn't happen. We'll work on it. Just keep spending money. We lost the restaurant, but we're going to have a new one coming in, so hopefully we'll be making up some of the difference there as we go further into the budget year. The ad valorem income for March totals $22,273.51 for the general fund, $5,254.16 for the interest and sinking. That's the bond repayment. We started the fiscal year with a budget of $639,089.08 in ad valorem taxes due. Now, $574,541 and some odd cents has been collected. So that puts our collection rate at 81.21% for the year. Now, the calculated outstanding balance as of the end of March is at $132,853 and a few cents.
Is that typical? I mean,
Yeah, we're actually a little bit ahead.
okay.
On that collection rate at 81.21%, and our budget was established on 89% collection rate. So, yeah, over the next 6 months, we'll catch that. It'll diminish as we go unless there's some
I
big,
just wondered, compared to last year at this time, if we were pretty much in line.
last year, this time it was 80 point something
Okay.
percent. A note regarding the out-of-balance figures on the general fund budget sheet. The council will need to amend the fiscal year 2022 budget to include the bond construction work, material and engineering, which flowed through the general fund. That's another one of those issues like we were discussing earlier with Pam about the budget, and any income that we got coming in has to be accounted for. So also any other work that might be planned for fiscal year 2022 using those bond funds will need to be included in that amended budget. At the same time the fiscal year 2022 budget is amended, might be a good time to adopt budgets for the hazard mitigation grant funds. That's the budget of $11.48 million and the $7.9 million grants. Just looking at it, the $11.48 million budget will probably have 4 items in it. That would be the grant administration, the engineering work, which the engineering work includes a whole lot of stuff like surveys and report preparation, you name it. Then there's going to be the contractor that actually does the work, and that might be more than one contractor, but it'll all be under that one line item. And then a 4th line item that I think of for that grant would be property acquisition. For the $7.9 million, that's going to be work on our streets, our roads, and the drainage ditches, so we won't be looking, don't think, at property acquisition. So that one might just be the 3 items of the grant administrator, the engineering work, and for the contractor work.
So
But
you're
that'll be
saying-
decided as we go forward.
So you're saying that we need to do the budget now for these grants? It's not-
Well, it's supposed to happen before any money's expensed, and we just spent
We already expensed, so, okay,
$669,000.
we have to come up with a budget by next meeting. Okay, that works.
No pressure.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and it'll keep, well, since Pam's not going to be our auditor next year, but at least we'll be working with her and Kyle Heinemann at Davis Heinemann and Company going forward. So that will make it a whole lot easier when we do get to, when we have to go out for bid for an auditor for the fiscal year
So
2022.
they're going to be more of a resource for you than anything moving forward.
Oh, absolutely. And in the role that they have been in as auditors, they're somewhat hesitant about advising or saying, we need to do this.
Sure.
They can just say, well, this is what the audit requires, and
But now they'll be able to,
now they can
give
say,
you guidance.
this is how you get to that point.
okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And as I noted earlier, because we're doing a whole lot of that work up front with them from their audit experience, then when we'll get to the actual audit, that's probably just going to be handing documents over, and we'll definitely let the folks know that we expect it not to be very expensive for the audit, because we've done all the work for them, basically, other than them to check the numbers and go through the records.
So In previous conversations, you were having trouble with QuickBooks Online. Has that been resolved? Have you found some other software that will do what you need to be done?
That's what Pam had referred to,
That was the grunt
in
work.
June and July is
Uh-huh.
what they're looking at. Right now, we're still using QuickBooks Online because it has payroll in it.
Yeah.
So we are paying the city employees and writing checks, making deposits. It's still going through QuickBooks Online. But since
There was
they
some
are
reporting
familiar-
issues that you were struggling with.
the individual accounts. Now, looking at the bank statements, it breaks it down as to what's occurred in that particular account. And that's what they used for their forensic work.
Okay. As long as you're happy, I'm happy.
I have a feeling that things are going to be a whole lot smoother, and I don't go to sleep at night wondering, okay, am I getting the report that I need from our accountant to make sure that
Yeah.
the council is aware of where we stand? And that's why I included in the monthly report this form. It's the second page in that handout, which shows the details as of 4/27 of our account balance, all the Texas class accounts that we have set up. And then Citizen State Bank doesn't provide that same kind of functionality that I could just print it out. So I had to write down each of the account balances at the six, is it six? Yeah, six
six.
accounts that we have at Citizen
Yeah.
State Bank. So that's where we stand as of yesterday. Now, we wrote some checks today, so the general fund balance is going to be a little bit less than that. Okay, then the next page is going to be the sales tax, shows the month-to-month amount that we have collected, or the state comptroller has remitted to the city from sales that's taken place. It's still up from what we saw last year in April, but I'm noticing the hit that we took in losing the barbecue place.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully the new restaurant will absorb that slack and increase the revenues. We're certainly going to be pushing folks to enjoy the new restaurant, the food. You have the next page is going to be the report from the Lynette Cruz at the tax office, and that gives a breakdown of where we stand on the year-to-date collections, and that's where I got that 81.21% collection rate. Let's see. Oh, that other, well, you can see a bit of a change that occurred from the sub-account details at text class from 418. I didn't really intend for that one to be in there, but I'd ran it for last week and then it didn't get used. Okay, and the budget versus actuals, and that's what I'd referred to about it being out of balance, and so we're going to have to do the budget amendment in order to bring that in balance and keep our accountant happy, and so I can sleep a little easier at night. The last item in there just came through a couple of days ago from Texas class on the April 2022 economic review, and the summary of that is that we're probably going to be seeing better interest rates on our investment, or I say investment, the funds that we have deposited at Texas class as we go forward. And that is it in a nutshell. I did not provide you with all those 42 some odd pages of, well, I sent them electronically after we got the reconciliation from the accountant and also the bank statements earlier in the month. Okay, with all that, any questions?
There being no questions, do I hear a motion to approve the financial report?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, CD.
Thank you, CD.
Okay, where are we? Is there any update on the Ontiveros legal proceeding?
Yes. As a matter of fact, it came out, well, I printed it yesterday.
Thank you, sir.
Are we allowed to have an opinion on it? Or is it done?
I don't know, Brad, this is a legal thing, so I'm not sure if
Uh,
for the council.
Yeah, since this is about litigation, this would be a matter,
No
if
closed session.
needed, I have not read this document.
Do we need to go into closed session? Because what we can do right now is just ask CD and W to leave the room. Since there's no
That's
one,
fine.
no one else in the audience, we can go ahead and discuss it if that's,
Review it, real quick.
So are we broadcasting? So this wouldn't be a good closed session.
We got the camera.
Once we turn this off, it's kind of hard to.
Turn it back on.
10 minutes to get back up.
Without having read this first, I don't want to discuss it in open session.
Yeah.
do we need to go into closed session in the other room?
I mean, that's up to the council.
I would say so. If we want to talk about it, we need to go into the
And
room.
and I would say that we could include number 14 for for discussion action property acquisition, so let's just go into closed session. I was thinking that would be easy here, but I forgot about the broadcasting.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be closed session.
Well, that was my point.
Yeah, you're right. And when you're right, you're right.
I hate it when I'm right.
Oh, I know.
Thanks for the vote of confidence there. So do you have anything, final words about the broadband?
If you like, the only thing I need to add are my invoices tonight, and I'll just email you.
Okay, all right, right.
That helps you in any
Yes, it will. Okay, I hope you've got good notes. Of course it's recorded. Let's see, I don't know if he's got the deal on there.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, we are back in session at 6:56 PM. There is no action on anything discussed in our closed session. So we're back to communications from the audience. So is there anything from online? No? Council comments? No?
Thank you, CD.
Yes.
Indeed.
Very much so. And
Thank you, Debbie.
Yeah. Do I hear a motion to adjourn the
I'll
meeting?
make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:57. That took all
Good
of
talk,
1 minute. Oh, be sure and turn your mics off.
Have a safe weekend, guys.
Catch lots of fish, David. Bring us some fillet.
One great big fish, that's all I need.
Bring us
leaving now?
fillets.
Yeah, we're jumping in the second half of the trip. We're gonna try and drop about